We're in LA, bro. What's going on?
Mm, same coloured shirt. That's all right.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Just enjoying uh feeling more and not feeling so numb.
Fuck yeah.
Are the boys on? Are we recording?
Is it recording?
Are we recording?
Yeah, it's recording. Yeah. I think
So
we're on, bro.
we're
I don't think.
double.
Yeah.
We're on. What doesn't matter if we're on or not.
Yeah, we're always on, bro.
Um, we can only talk about the now, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, happy that the last week I've been feeling a lot more, which is nice. I felt like there was a lot of numbing prior to that. So
Yeah. What does numbing show up for you like?
social media and porn.
Yeah.
Those are the two biggest. And then I just went through this energy burst a couple of weeks ago, telling myself a story that I can have it all. Like I can still keep all that stuff. But then it was funny because after I would have a massive social media session or would watch porn or whatever, I noticed the second it was done, I was automatically looking for a coffee, uh, something to give me that fake dopamine hit once I left that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which ideally just isn't right. You know what I mean? I felt like I couldn't be present at the gym with the family. Couldn't look people in the eye. Couldn't tap into that intuitive part of me that I love to operate from. And it was all that stuff that was sort of holding me back from feeling and being feeling my intuition working through me and stuff like that. And having the confidence. Confidence is a massive thing in my life. Like confidence, like get on a pod or whatever, just to do a video or whatever. And I've just noticed the last couple of days, like I posted a video yesterday, we're doing this pod today. And the universe is like, whether you sit behind the shadows and just keep living this shaded life or you step into your highest greatness, it's up to you. Show goes on regardless. So I don't give a fuck. No one gives a fuck except me. You know what I mean? It's up to me what I want to do with my life here. So yeah, that's where I've been, brother.
Far out. I love that, Maddie. I love that. That's literally what I was looking at today before this call. I was sort of getting into the human design and I was listening to that podcast that you sent me of that lady.
Mm.
And the first introduction of like what is human design. And then I had a look at the next one, which was for manifester for me. And like a big indicator that you're not living in alignment with yourself as a manifester is that you're quite susceptible to people pleasing. So like making sure that everything around you is okay, like making sure, oh, is my wife okay? Or my kids okay? Um, am I giving you what you need, sort of thing? But in a way, you're living out of alignment with your true self, of actually asking yourself, what do you need? What are the things that bring you peace and can bring you joy? So yeah, things that take me away, definitely people pleasing, but also like the distractions like porn, social media, and yeah, caffeine, any stimulants, um, even distracting myself with some sort of information. Like I can go rabbit holes of podcasts, audiobooks, like filling myself with noise.
Yep.
So yeah, so where I'm at right now, it's I've got a lot of free time because the girls are in Germany.
Mm.
This is like a week since they flew away to Germany. So my wife and three girls are over there, and
Has it been a week already?
it's been like a week today, I think, because it was
What?
yeah Wednesday night
Oh,
when,
gotcha.
last week. So is when they flew away. So almost a week.
Yeah.
Um, but it's amazing what happens, bro, when you have all that space. How quickly it can be taken up with things as well
Yeah.
when you have that open space. Like if you don't have an intention with it. So for me, there's been some beautiful things of just like the big eagle coming over, my best mate, and we've been working out, we've been cooking up some food. I've started playing music again,
Mm.
jamming with Bushy and the big eagle. All of a sudden, this little bursts of inspiration are coming through. Um, So navigating that with intention of what I want to actually do within the next 4 weeks, being alone. It's I feel like it's such an opportunity for me to get some introspection to go within myself. And then the gene keys are coming up, the human design's coming up, all these little tools to use to look at what's happening inside of you have been presented as well. So there's a lot of opportunity in this.
100%, especially with that free space, and it's up to you what you want to do with it. I think we spoke about it before they left. It was like you could so easily just, and I think you said it on your pod yesterday I listened to, which was a great pod, was that and I love that you said I'm not going to do my homework as well. Fuck, I had to rewind it because I was cooking chicken and I listened back. I said he's so true. But yeah, you said like imagine going 4.5 weeks and not actually utilizing that time. You know what I mean? So that's good. I love that. You know, you're aware. That's the thing. It's just the awareness around it all, which sometimes makes it more fucking harder when you know this isn't serving you, but why do you keep dabbling back into it? You know? But then having the acceptance and compassion of knowing that sometimes like Zab was here yesterday out the front doing the lawns, and I said to him, bro, I feel like I've done like a full circle. I'm back to just being human.
Mm.
Like started as a human source, went on this big spiritual journey, which I'm still on, like 100%. But then I've just come back to being human because I think that's where the resistance was of trying to fulfill this thing inside of me of being a certain way without accepting that situations, people, energy, feeling, it's all going to shift. It's always going to shift. And it's just about being open to navigate the shifts and knowing when you've got to pivot, knowing when you can, okay, cool, I'm just in this energy at the moment. That's okay too. Or fuck, I'm on this high energy. I know sooner or later I'm going to come back down. I should just, stay grounded as much as possible. It's like, it's the ebbs and flows where I just wanted it to be, if I just keep shooting on this direction, I'm just going to feel peace. I'll sit on a rock, fucking meditate, and life will be good. Where it's like that is not the case, brother.
Yes, yes, that's exactly the same my experience as well. Coming back to the human and enjoying it, embracing it, and realizing what works for you as well, because everyone has their own way of being, and so you find that out through your journey as well. I feel that's what you've come back to as well, of like not everyone can do the things all the time. Some people naturally need space and time to readjust and to build up their own energy. Not everyone has an unlimited source of energy.
Mm.
Like for us in particular, we need that time to go spend time by ourselves, meditate, relax, listen to some chilled out music, do whatever. And then we can come back and give our energy and be of service. It's not just a constant flow, but sometimes I can fall into habits of thinking I've got to keep doing the things and this willpower takes over. But where is that coming from? What's the energy behind that of continually putting yourself out there? It's coming from a place of, do I want to just be seen? Do I just want to be heard? Or is it coming from a place of I want to express myself in this moment and this feels good, and then I'm gonna embody the way that I am, my natural way of being, and allow myself to recover, recoup, relax, restore my energy, and then I can be a more of service. Otherwise, I'm just putting out it's like this little candle flame, or is it like a full on fire?
Mm.
That's going to warm the house. It's going to warm everyone around you. You can be the candle flame and you can be full on energy all the time, but that has such a different effect as if you restore yourself. And this is just for us. I know that you're the same, Maddie. Like not everyone's the same, but you could actually have that full on effect of warming a whole village with a whole big fire, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah, and you and me are very similar, brother. That's why, like, since this journey, we've been connected and stayed connected. Like, you can't deny the fact of the feeling of feeling peace.
Mm.
Like, it's addictive. It's an addictive feeling that we went on this journey and we found a part of us that we probably never accessed before in our life, and we just went on the journey to go deeper and deeper. You know what I mean? Like we can't deny that feeling. Whether people actually get a taste of that feeling or not is a part of their own journey. But I know for me, being on that journey and finding that feeling of like becoming awakened or going on the journey to awaken was like the biggest feeling I've had in my body since I was born. it was like the feeling of being born. Like,
Mm.
and that's what led me on that journey with you and some others that are just like, and then you just see this world so differently. Like never in the wildest dreams did I think I'd be jumping on a podcast talking about feeling and life and whatever. Like there was a video the other week of my 18th of just running around like a little lad as a dress up and just talking shit and whatever. But that was the first part of my life, which is fine, you know. But then when the shift happened during COVID, it was just like sent me on another whole direct trajectory of life, which is great because I can feel more. I can see my kids and Janae through a different light and my family and understand why I operate through certain patterns, understand what brings me to going to my numbing devices. It just gives you a deeper understanding of knowing that you can check in with yourself and not you live more internal than external. That's probably the best way to put it. I live more internally than externally, where before it was just when you live externally, it's a roller coaster. Anything, traffic, people, fucking anything, social media can just, and it still happens. Like there's still a part of me that lives on the external, but there's a bigger part of me that lives internally now, and it just fucking feels so good. It's quiet, it's nice, it's peaceful, it's home.
It's home. Far out. Yes, I feel that, bro. I'm reminded like it was Sunday night a couple of nights ago where I was watching a football game with my mate and it was Leeds United. That's my favorite, like the round ball football, the soccer, as you Americans would say, soccer. I was watching that with my mate, and if I was watching that game 4 years ago or 3 years ago, I would be like riding the highs and the lows of fuck, are we going to make it? Are we going to win? We're one goal down at halftime. Like if they win, they get promoted to the Premier League. If they lose, they stay in the Championship. It's like the richest game in football. It's like $200 million or something. They say all the stuff, all the external stuff, and yeah, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I would have been riding those emotions and I would have felt the anxiety of like, fuck, we're going to lose this. But this time it's like you're observing the game and you're observing yourself watching the game and it's just more fun because you're not attached to the outcome. Like, oh, I want Leeds to win. Unfortunately, they lost. So they're going to be in the championship next year. But it's a completely different experience because you're now focused on what's happening inside of you and you're not reliant on something outside of you to give you a feeling anymore. I think
Yeah,
that was the biggest shift for us. Hey, like we want these things to happen so then it makes us feel a certain way. But we can bypass all of that and realize like we are the thing that we want anyway, and we can have that feeling now. And whatever happens out there is going to happen. It's not our responsibility or in control as long as we are living in our highest self, our truest, deepest truth, then out there is just going to happen.
yeah, yeah. And it is. It's like it's such a beautiful feeling, and yeah, the best way to describe it is we came into this world as nothing, you know, and we leave as nothing, where it's like the conditioning of the way we were brought up, the addictions that we, you know, utilized growing up, the patterns of our belief systems of like teachers and parents and everything else. And we've conditioned ourselves to be a certain being, where now I feel as though the last 3 years I've started to uncondition myself of going, okay, I can let go of that now because it's, you know, it served a purpose growing up. And now it's like, I can detach from that feeling of showing up as a certain type, where it's like now when you just show up as you in the moment, it's just so much more freeing. Like you feel it more from your chest than your head. And I think that's probably the best way to like, you know, we're forever going to be unpacking and unconditioning ourselves from all the things that we've had since growing up. And that's where like a lot of people that are on this journey understand that. And you know what I mean? And it's you align with those people. You align with those people that understand you and like we're soul brothers. Like our energy, the second a voice message pops up or something, I'm like, yeah, all right, we're on. Because you get it. You know what I mean? And I pray that more and more people go within to check in and actually find out who they actually are, not who they think they are. Because from that place, you just fuck. I've never been more addicted to something in my life, even porn. Because that feeling just feels so fucking good to just be fully immersed in the moment, you know, and fully just conceive my kids and Janae and my life for what it is and wake up feeling grateful and breathe, like just breathing, just like fuck, people don't even breathe properly. Like they just
Mm.
like this rat race of like numbing, conditioning, get through the day, hope you have a good day, and fuck, whatever happens, happens. Or it's like you can take charge of all of that if you just go inside.
Yeah. If you just go inside, and I feel that's like finding your true self as well, like deprogramming from all this hypnosis that we've created, the conditions, the social society expectations and the norms and the identity that we've created. Now we're deprogramming from that, and what's left is the essence that we are, you know, the oneness that we all are. And as we start to discover that and share all of that, that's when we find each other. We find reflections of ourselves. Like that's how we found each other. That's how you find the real ones, when you express your true self. So yeah, so going into your true self, I love to discuss that. What do you feel, Maddie, is for you? Is like what, when you hear like the words true self, like what really resonates for you and your being?
Hmm. There's like a little kid inside of me that's proud of me when I live through my authentic self. Like there's like this, and I don't know if it's my heart or whatever it is, but I feel it inside my chest where I'm like, you're doing really good, bro. Like you just, you're doing good, and then that feeling comes up of like, you just feel good about yourself. You know what I mean? Like you just have this knowing of knowing when, and it's okay too. Some days I'm going to miss the mark, but the little version inside of me when I do miss the mark is like, it's all right, bro. Tomorrow's a new day. Like it's all good. Where that relationship I have with myself is the most important thing. So when I do it and I'm in line with that through my practices, through my awareness, through slowing down, I can sit nicely in that place for long periods of time and just like, it's sort of like, and then my mind comes in of waiting for something to go wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like you just accept things. So I know when I'm aligned with my truest self is I just accept it before it arrives, big or small. Like it just comes along and I'm like, oh, yep, no worries. And there's like not one side of resistance because it is what it is. But I know there's still going to be days, and that was where the resistance come for a while there, where I was thinking, fuck, I'm doing all this work and I'm still feeling this stuff. Where I was like, yeah, because you're supposed to, So like I still have days where I'm more human like and not human like, but I'm more outside of myself than inside. But
Mm.
the game plan is to stick inside as much as possible, but accept when you do have to pivot and learn a lesson and go through a certain stage of your life or a certain attachment or whatever. And that's the thing, the resistance still comes, but it's up to me whether I want it to live in my body for 3 hours or 3 days. I think that's what's happened in the grand scheme of things of my self-development. Things don't sit with me as long as they used to. And
Mm.
that's how I know I'm making good progress.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that like it used to be years, months, and weeks, and now it can be days or even hours once you feel that resistance. And know that it's something happening inside of you. Like whenever, for me, it's like in a conversation with somebody and they might be triggering something inside of me. And whereas then I'll just leave it at that and just think in my head of the mind will start creating these thoughts and judgments of like, oh, this person is triggering you, they're making you feel like shit. Oh, what are they saying like that? Things like that. But now being more interested in what's happening inside of me and letting go of that judgment of like, oh, that's interesting. Having like a compassionate self-inquiry, I feel has been a big shift for me. So interesting I'm feeling this way because our natural way of being is peace. And so anything that goes against that natural way of being, it's bringing up some sort of happening inside of yourself. So exploring that now more deeply of like, oh, that's I'm feeling like this, okay. And some days, yeah, you're gonna feel like shit. Like that's the human experience. We're human beings, you know. So embodying that, it's gonna happen, and knowing that it's not forever. I think sometimes we get stuck in our heads, and then that victim mindset comes through, and then that can play out for a long time, and we think it's just gonna keep happening. But knowing that everything has a season, everything comes and goes, just like the clouds, they come and then they go.
Well, that's the deal. I love that because I resonate with that because like that's the thing. When things come up for me, I can see it. I'm not in it as such. Like there's a part of me that's still in it because I could like obviously, but there's a bigger part of me that's just outside of it. And I'm like, you know what? This is probably going to sit in my body till tomorrow morning. First thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to make an effort to put my feet on the ground and be grateful for that I'm here. And let's just see how the day plays out. So I'm automatically knowing that it's going to leave my body after a certain period of time. And then what I'm talking about that, I'm talking about the feeling that's come up through something happening. You know, that feeling comes up in your body and it sticks, but I know how I operate, and that's why the self-development's so great. I know by tomorrow morning it'll be out of my system. And I don't, and there's a difference between letting it be out of your system naturally and blocking it out. That's where the
Yeah.
numbing devices come in. You
Yeah.
start blocking it out. Fuck, I'm gonna block this out. I feel like shit. All right, pokies, porn, fucking social media, alcohol, drugs, whatever it is, food, even food, sugar. Sugar's going to numb me for 10 minutes. All those things just put you on a whole different trajectory. You're going to stick in it for way longer going down that path, you know,
Mm.
where, because you're just looking for that little dopamine hit to just give you that little sense of like, yeah, fuck. And then you just feel like shit, where now it's like, and then things have happened the last couple of weeks. Big things, big shifts in my life have happened. And I've sat with it, felt it come up, the initial reaction. I go, oh, okay, yep, cool, accept it. And then I'm like, you know what? If I just stick true, keep eating clean today, get to bed early, be grateful tomorrow morning that I'm here again, it'll leave my body. And then just naturally leaves rather than blocking it out.
A few things coming up, bro, for me. I love that. One of the things is like, what can you do in those moments? Hey, and something that's really helped me, bro, is having you and having just the ability to express what I'm going through in a voice message or a call or whatever it is. Like having those ones closest to you that don't have any judgment and you can just express it and get it out in a beautiful, safe space. And then even that ability of, and you giving love, you're receiving that, but just that effect of putting that out there and you get to witness, you can listen to it yourself again as well. And you get to witness yourself, that through expression, you get to see a lot of that because sometimes it's stored in our bodies and we're not really sure how to get it out. Like there's that's one thing that comes to my mind. That probably resonates with you, Maddie, as well.
100%. I resonate. I've expressing it out. People don't express enough. That's the biggest problem, bro. There's like people walk around as robots, and I understand how busy life is and how stressful things in. There's like you're like in a vortex. There's 1,000 things that can throw you off guard a day. Like I get that, but it's up to you if you want to live as 100% of a robot or possibly 5% of a robot. You know what I mean? Like I'm very structured and routine, and I know I can get in robotic. There's robotic parts of me in my life that I'm very like, oh, okay, yep, you're about to fall into robot mode. And it does serve, like it serves to a degree, like at work, like I like everything nice and clean and structured. That's okay. You know, it's not a bad trait to have that. I like everything really clean before people rock up. It like it makes me feel like people are coming into my space and it looks the best it can look, and that's a robotic part of me that I can't get out of my system because we can't all fully be in alignment, which is okay, and accepting that. But then also knowing that you can express things, like all it takes is for someone to see a thought they've been sitting with for 15 to 20 years to release themselves from it, express it, be like, oh my God, I actually have never said that out loud. And then watch yourself move on and start to cultivate different experiences and be more present and live a better life, knowing that you've openly expressed something that you've been sitting with for so fucking long. It's like this little fucking dark cloud in your body. Bro, how good does it feel when you can fucking openly express that, you
Yeah.
know? And then be open to go fuck. And that just puts you on this fucking snowball effect, I noticed. Like the more vulnerable and open you can be, the more peaceful you can be. Like I know so many, especially men, so many men just fucking hold on to all this shit. And it's not until someone else expresses, and that's where you and me are very powerful at, life coaching and, all that stuff is like, all it takes for me to sit with someone and openly express my truth. And then it's up to them whether or not they want to drop to that level or not. Like, and then they come out going, holy fuck. Like, I thought I was the only one going through this shit. It's like, brother, we're all going through the same shit. It's just smells different and looks different.
Oh man. Yeah, it's that open invitation and it's like the icebreaker, hey, like you just expressing your vulnerability, sharing whatever you're going through, it allows the other person to open up and share themselves. It's opening the door for them. That's so beautiful, bro. Um, I love that and also love how you're talking about gratitude in the morning because that's something I've been getting into is actually like intentionally starting your day with gratitude. Yeah, I've been like writing down 10 things I'm grateful for when I'm waking up. But yesterday I didn't do that, you know. And
Okay.
but I started the day with a voice message from you, bro, and I actually see myself. I remember Evan Britton talking about it, like, we do all these practices, we have all these things, but then like he walks out the door and he sees like his journals there, and it's hasn't been written, and he has a thought of like, that's not the thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like these are beautiful practices, but that's not you. Like they do help you to get in alignment, but the whole spiritual way is actually like what's happening in each and every moment. It's our life, it's our physical human experience. That's the real stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Like except like there's especially if you have like a set schedule in the morning that keeps you feeling a certain way, but then something throws you off guard, whether it's you get your kids are sick or something and you can't get to that. How much resistance you have to not being able to get to that is that's where the problem is. The problem lies is like, don't be resistant that you didn't get your meditation in yesterday. Just accept that it wasn't supposed to be,
Mm.
like there's a layer deeper to the tools. The tools are great. They keep me like, I need the tools for my head, but
Mm.
my soul, just the more accepting my soul can be of whatever shows up, whether it's good or it's bad, is that's where the place of like, you just sit in that nice gray, you know?
I need the tools for my head. That is so true, bro. Like that's literally what we're doing here because the head is the supercomputer that runs the show. And if it's on autopilot from all these past thoughts and programs, it's just going to keep running away and distracting itself, looking for dopamine. But if we bring it into alignment with the tools, like with breath work, with meditation, with whatever works for you, then that just quietens the mind and allows like the heart to speak up, you know, allows you to be guided, allows you to enjoy this physical experience without getting lost in all that stuff and know that that resistance does come through and that's okay too. It's the awareness of that resistance that will still it. Yeah, bro. So I'm getting into human design. I see you are too, Maddie.
Oh, bro. I've never been so intrigued about something in my life. I listened to the videos today and I was just like, fuck, it hit home. Like there was not one thing in that the videos I listened to of my design that wasn't true, Especially the working 3 hours a day. I'm like, that is me. And I've always questioned, and I think it's letting go of a lot of questions of like, why can't I fucking operate on a 9 to 5?
Mm.
And it's clear that I'm aligned with my purpose because owning a gym and doing life coaching and podcasts and stuff require short bursts of energy, where working a 9 to 5 is like cultivating 8 hours worth of energy, where like that was one of the first things that shined out at me. It made me just accept. I was like, well, not that I'm not aligned with, I know I'm aligned, but it's just like aligned with my purpose, I should say, not aligned in life because, yeah. But like, I just know that that was just that hit home. But even all the other stuff, like the first 30 years of your life is, building this conditioning. And then the second 30 is letting go of all the things that don't serve you. That was another thing because it hit me at 30, it hit you at 30. Um, the 4 and the 6, how they operate together. Like yeah, I've already looked up courses and stuff for it, but I'm gonna yeah, it just like you and me love talking about life.
Mm.
Like that's our jam. You know what I mean? Some people love talking about football, some people love talking about soccer and fucking UFC and whatever else. You and me, our jam is talking about what's going on in this moment, how we feel about it, and just life in itself. And yeah, it's powerful. I'm grateful that I love talking about life because it fucking makes me feel so good, you know? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we're talking about life, we're talking about UFC and football too. That's a part of our
Yeah.
life.
Exactly right. Exactly right. But yeah, even like that, I think the part of it was like the part of my human design is things will intuitively fall into my lap. Like I'll just get like these messages from above and it just lands in front of me and it's so clear, but then I
Mm.
can't actually explain it. And it's okay that people will not understand it.
Hmm.
That hit home because there's so many things that have come up in my body and even Unwind. I was in the shower and I was like, you're going to build a place. It's a big recovery center. It's called Unwind. It's got the infinity logo. Like it was like the speaker was on in the shower. And I remember writing it on the shower, because obviously it goes foggy. I wrote Unwind with the infinity logo. And I was like, oh, that looks good. Little did I know, 2 years from that point, we're building a recovery center called Unwind with the Infinity logo, and it's landed in my fucking lap. Like, how the fuck's that? And I remember
Mm.
leaving the shower saying to Janae, it would be a good idea if we did this. But the feeling that come in my body when I felt that drop from the ceiling was like so real. It was like, you have to do it. Like there was no questioning, like, fuck, was that just a thought? Or, it was like, yep, that's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So that was another thing in my human design that come up, which was like spot on.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. That's that difference between a thought and then that intuitive like gut feeling or God's voice just coming through. You can feel it like this has to come out. This has to happen. Um, yeah, far out. I love that. And I love how you're a projector as well. Like, because I'm a manifester and I always resonate with projectors or the ones closest to me. Like you, I thought you're a manifester, but I had the same feeling with Cam Rosen. I thought he was a manifest and he's a projector. And then Sarah, my business coach as well, she's a projector. So I was talking to Sarah about it, and she said the manifester and the projector go so good together. She sent me a message. I sent you it just before. Projectors can see deeply the manifestors and make them feel powerful. The manifester, when they're empowered, they invite in constantly the projectors, so they don't need to initiate and waste their energy.
That's mad.
Yeah, which is freaking, it's like, it's so cool just to see it written down like the way that we naturally are intuitively, the way that
Yes.
we, how we, and that's what I feel it's so cool to have like a tool of like, oh, holy shit. Yeah, this is how we've been. This is the blueprint of our life, which is come from astrology and it's come from all these different things. And now just witnessing how it is in alignment with how we've just naturally experienced our life
Mm.
experience and how we're just like connected together as well. It's so, that's the cool part of it, I feel.
Yeah, I'm jamming with it. I feel like I want to study and like write it all down. And I'm never like that. And that's another thing about my human design. I don't create energy. I get energy from people.
Hmm.
Like it's like my energy is, and it does, it makes sense. It amps up. That's why I'm so passionate about building communities with the gym and the wellness center and stuff like that. Is because that's when I get G'd up. I'm not creative to just sit at home with a piece of paper and just start writing things down. And I've always had resistance of like, why can't I do that? And now listening to my human design, I've freed myself from like three different things this morning.
Mm.
Like I don't think I remember the last time I freed myself from so much so soon from like a 20-minute video explaining my human design. I was like, oh yep, okay, cool. Yep, no worries, makes sense. So thanks for sharing that.
Well, that's a pleasure, bro. It gives yourself permission, hey. Um, and that's why I was talking about at the start of the call, like the whole people pleasing. Like for me, that's been one of the biggest awakenings throughout my life of like growing up and feeling like I actually suppressed my emotions, a lot of it. And I felt like I was a people pleaser. Like, so just entering the room, feeling the energy of the room and just providing what I felt everyone needed in that moment, whether someone needed just someone to talk to or someone actually needed some energy, whatever it was. I was like just feeling that void, but it wasn't living with my true self, my alignment. And for me as a manifester, very similar to you, Maddie, where I have a burst of energy. I can create. I don't need an invitation. I can initiate. That means I get an idea and I can just go for it. But something I realized when I had that sort of breakdown around my coaching and stuff, I've realized like I was looking at it at the lens of reverse engineering and everything and like working out, okay, who's my ideal client? What do they need? And then marketing to that, which is going against my natural way of being as a manifester, which is, bro, you just be you, you express yourself, and the right people are going to get on the train
Yeah,
because they're the ones that resonate with you. They're your true, your true best friends and the soul brothers and sisters. They're going to come on the train with you, and the other ones, they're not, and that's okay too.
yeah,
But going back to my whole childhood of people pleasing, like witnessing whenever someone doesn't like what I'm doing or something, I feel so deeply into it, like, oh fuck, is there something wrong with me? But it's like, no, you got to let go of that because that's not your true self. Like some people, you're going to express yourself fully, and some people are going to love it, and some people are not, and that's okay. It's not your responsibility to please the whole world. That was a
yeah.
massive awakening for me.
Wow. It's so, and like it stems back to the words that have been written down for your human design, which is crazy.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
and one thing I've sort of noticed listening again that comes up. is I need the invitation.
Mm.
So I need the invitation to openly express. So rather than, and then it says you might get resistance within yourself of knowing you've got all this energy and you want to project it, but you need to just sit and be patient, knowing that when someone needs to hear it, they'll show you that they need to hear it.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, fuck. Because it makes sense. I feel so calm when I can just sit and accept. But then the mind comes in of like, you've got so much of this inner knowing. Why aren't you projecting it? It's like,
Yeah.
wait for the invitation. Gamble, do you want to do a podcast? I reckon it'd be good to do a podcast. Oh, yeah, cool. Let's do a podcast. So they open up about it. Like, here we are. Thank you for the invitation.
Bro, this makes so much sense with that feeling that you had with when you were over in America in the States. You're doing Heal and Flow, and you had that feeling you're going to jump on a pod with Eben, and then Eben actually hit you up a couple of days later saying, "Do you want to jump on my pod?" You're like, "Yeah, I do." That
Yeah.
makes so much sense. Hey.
Well, the resistance come up, and I was like, I can't sit in this resistant state of forcing this to happen. And that's where it was actually a beautiful feeling of like showing, have trust that if I'm supposed to openly express it with him, I will. And if I'm not, I'm not. So I accept both. And I accepted both. And then he's like, hey, man, what are you doing after this? I'm like, going to LA. He's like, do you want to jump on a pod? I was like, there's the invitation, you know.
Mm.
But now that gives me more acceptance within my body to just sit and restore my energy and keep true to my practices without forcing the words out of my body, where that's where I get resistance. I'm sitting there, my ego will say, why are you doing more reels? Why are you doing more podcasts? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And I'm like, fuck, I need to go do that. And then I go do it and I'm trying to do it. Then I get resistance because I'm like, this just doesn't fucking feel right.
Mhm.
But it's like, wait for the invitation and just sit and store. So that's where it's like, oh, I can just sit now. Wow. Fuck yeah.
I I fucking love this, and because the reason why is because this is us going against the entire society, the way that the society's been run our whole lives. It's us swimming against the flow, as well as social media. Like everything you see on social media is hear me, see me, see me, see me. This is my message. These are the 3 steps. This is the stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just, and we could feel it intuitively. Like this feels yuck. This doesn't feel like us. But then you can get stuck in that cycle of doing what everyone else does,
Yeah.
and until you open up and realize like, oh my goodness, this is not this is not us. And then you start to live in alignment, you realize, holy shit, like how much more in peace do you feel when you are listening to your body, when you're actually flowing and just acting with your own design, your own unique way of being in this human life. Like for me, I realized the strategy for me is to inform. So I can get really sudden bursts of inspiration. And if I act on it, I can actually freak out my environment, like my wife and kids. Like, for instance, I'm like, last year, I'm like, I'm going to go to America, I'm going to go to the States, I'm going to go to Healer Flow, all these things to tell my wife. And she's just like freaking out. And I didn't realize, like, as a manifester, if you inform, you tell people around you, it's to relax them. And it's also relaxing you. Um, because you're just so creative, you want to jump on the idea and you can do it, and you don't need to initiate. I know you initiate. You don't need to like wait for permission to act. But if you're just acting straight away, it has that effect of you're just going to freak out everyone. So so coming back to my strategy of informing, like I tell my wife, like if I'm just in the house, I'm going to have a shower and say, hey, I'm just going to have a shower. That relaxes her. I can jump in. I can, do my own thing. That's been such a blessing of like working out how we can, even relationships, like working out how we can sort of come together with our own unique way of being, and just formulate like what works for us, what works for you, and work it out together. It's been a massive shift for us. Hey.
Fuck, how good's life? Oh, yeah. It's such a nice feeling when something organically can just happen. It's like magic. And the more you can sit in the magic of trust and faith, the more beautiful it fucking looks. Like being invited, like, hey, let's do a pod. I'm like, you know what, actually feels right. Like, let's do this more. We need to do this more. Why are we sitting with all this wisdom and not expressing it to one another? Like,
Mm.
no one listens to this pod. I don't care because I'm going to leave this pod feeling fucking great. And
Yeah.
that's like, I'm doing it for me, where it's like you try and do it for other people. Nothing worse than that. I'm going to do 2 reels a day and post fucking blah, 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 because everyone else does it and then get nothing. When you do that and regardless, subconsciously you expect something from it. You've
Hmm.
given out energy, you expect something back. Then when you don't get it, it's like, fuck, I'll do either do more or fuck it. And then you keep going back through that cycle. This is effortless energy
Hmm.
expressing. We're exchanging energy right now just through our own visions and life and whatever comes through our body to express. So that's great. So we're going to leave here with that natural high of, wow, feels so fucking good. The more you can do things that align with your natural highs, meditating, slowing down, having time off your phone, these type of conversations, that's where you can stay in that magic, and the magic just fucking flows.
Mm. Mm. And there is magic here, bro. This is what the plants told me, Maddie. There's magic here. We just got to choose it.
Well, even like something that come up for me, because like Zab's been in my energy for a while now, because we sort of had that detachment and we went our own ways. When we sort of reconnected and I sort of owned, well, I didn't sort of, I owned my side of the street with all the stuff that I felt as though come up in my body when we sort of had that breakup, you could call it. Once I openly expressed to him how I felt a part of me that wanted to keep going with it, knowing that it would have caused resistance if I started to like do more than what was needed to like own my side. And then that's where I was like scared to like double own it and then feel resistance of like, yeah, no, like we're done. So I was like, I just own my side of the street and then literally said out loud to the universe, okay, cool. I've owned my side of the street. I've done more than enough to apologize and see where I fucked up. I'm gonna leave this up to you now, whether or not we're supposed to realign or we're not supposed to realign. So like I'm just gonna leave it at that because I've done the best of my ability without trying to overdo it and then give myself a position to be hurt or cause resistance. 3, 4 months go by. I'm literally on the lounge and I look left out my front door and I see his business. And I'm like, oh fuck. Okay. Walk outside and he's doing a house 2 houses down from mine. No coincidence. He's come out, we've had a chat, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, my daughter goes to pre-K, same school as his son. So we started to see each other after school. He does a great job at landscaping. Janae's like, fuck, it'd be good if Zab did our landscaping, done landscaping. Then he goes, you know what? I just feel like coming back to G3. Can I come back to G3? So it's like, it's been such a beautiful thing to just watch something just rekindle naturally through like these little like magical experiences of like, what a fucking coincidence. He's working 2 houses down from mine. You know what I mean? What a coincidence. And then he called and said, hey, today I seen you at the school and it was the first time I didn't have resistance in my body. So straight away, that was a sign to me of like, wow, that's beautiful. Like, that's thank you for sharing this. Yeah, I just want to share it with you. I felt like that was a little gift from the universe of like, let this naturally just continue to do. And I'm just using that as an example of life. Like, that is an example of like, do what's necessary, stick true to your energy, and then just sit and just let things just happen. Like, even with G3 and finances, these fucking, I was in the biggest resistance of money a couple months ago. And then I'm fucking there and I'm like stressing about it. I'm fucking counting coins and shit. I'm like, just like, fuck, what can I do? Do. And this guy fucking, and I usually have my headphones in. Headphones went dead. Never happens. I usually lock the front door because it was during the day when we're not open. Didn't lock the door because if I had my headphones in, I wouldn't have heard the door knock. So the door's unlocked. I don't have headphones in. Fucking this guy walks in. He's like, hey man. I'm like, hey bro. And I'm like, still in it. And he's like, I used to train here like 3 years ago. I'm like, yeah, I know your face. He's like, can I resign? Like, and I'm like, yeah, like, what brought you back here? Like, I don't have you on social media. He goes, I don't know. I just had a feeling I had to come back here. And I just want to see if you're open and can I just pay cash for a year, like up front? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'll just go get it now. How much? And like, I'm like trying to like thank the universe and trying to hold a conversation with him at the same time. And it was just magical that it was like I had all these things to do and they all just went out the window because all I had to do was be, and this happened. It was like, there's the money you want, you know, so like that, another thing for me is the finance stuff. It's been a very humbling year, that's for fucking sure.
Mhm.
So
Bro, I want to point out something throughout all those examples, what was coming up for me, and I was so excited the whole time. It's like each and every one of those examples is an invitation that is being presented to you. If you see that, like
yes,
Zab's being across the road, where to going to pre-K, same school as your daughter, an invitation, and then an invitation of Janae coming to you saying, "Oh, Zub's a pretty cool landscaper. Should get him on board," to the guy coming to your gym, like all these invitations coming to you.
Mm.
I love that, bro. It's just you being in alignment with your true self and knowing that you are guided and it's happening, it's coming to you. Money's a big one for me too, bro. All those thoughts.
I said, did you know, remember the good old days where we just had six figures in the account? You wouldn't think twice, like, fuck.
Oh,
Or,
fuck.
you know what I mean? Or like whatever. Like it was just like, oh yeah, where now it's like everything's like, it's a beautiful lesson because it's never sort of been a thing. Like I've sort
Mm,
of built everything on my own back and really was always good with money. Where now it's like you've got to be super good and aware with money. But then it's magical when shit just works. Like if you can, I'm still gonna fall into the fuck side of things, but if I can stay in the let's just play it out, still move. That's a difference. You don't just fucking sit and expect $1 million to land on your fucking table. Like
mm,
it doesn't work like that. You still got to energetically move and be in an abundant state. I am abundant through being grateful that I have healthy kids, a healthy missus, I've got beautiful people around me. I'm in an abundant state. I'm going to stay open to an abundant state and let the things just come. I don't have to go find the things. They will just come and present. And it's like, oh, yeah, cool. No worries at all. And it's a beautiful feeling where you can effortlessly let things just come. But if you're not open to it, if you're so closed off of like, I need money,
mm.
you're going to get more of I need money. You know what I
100%.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that restriction. And when you open yourself up, a beautiful way that you've opened yourself up, and what I see for myself as well is coming back to acts of service. Like, how can I be of service? How can I help people out? And so you've got that community, you've got G3 building Unwind. Like, think of how many people's lives have changed through your act of service. And I feel like that is a beautiful reflection as you start to give, like you shall receive, in abundance, and focusing on that. Like, I know when I feel like that tightness of money and things like that, it's always of like lack of like what I don't have, and your attention is focused on the lack, and then so the thoughts are going to come up of like we're struggling, we don't have all this money, how are we going to survive, how are we going to pay the bills, and you're going to receive more of that. But if you can, it's the hardest thing, but if you can let go of that, it's not the hardest thing. You just focus on, well, how can I serve? Who needs my help? Who needs my energy right now? And bringing that into your awareness is like, okay, this is how I can show up. What can I do now? You know, and changing your whole mindset and shifting into that direction, that can open up so many different channels. Like I was thinking as well, even the thought of when my girls went to Germany, like putting that on the credit card, and that's like 5K for the flights and stuff. Like that's money that we didn't have, right? But how many times would you stop yourself from taking an opportunity because you're thinking we don't have 5K? And I had the thought, and I told my wife about it, like how many people have put a mortgage down on a house and spent 500K, 600K, that they're paying mortgage back, and we're losing ourselves in this little moment of like 5K for that. But think about the flow and effect of our girls going to Germany for 4.5 weeks. Like for my wife, all her family's over there. So she's going to see her sisters, her mum and dad, stepdad, and like the cousins. Our daughters are going to go have a life experience. Like it's summer over there. They live in the fields in Germany. So they're just walking all the day, picking daisies, looking at the cows, having real life experience. Um, what's important to you? Like what is the most important thing? I'm not going to look back on my life in 60 years or however long and think like, fuck, I shouldn't have spent 5K to get the girls to Germany so they could have life experience. Now you're going to be thinking about all the fun stuff. And something for us, Maddie, to bring to our awareness as well. I seen this reel they were talking about, they were asking all these old people like in their 80s, like what was your most fun time of your life? And a lot of them, the majority of them said the best time in their life was when their kids were little. And this is the time we're in right now, like where our kids are little. And so coming back to being with them, like exploring what it's like to be a kid as well. What a gift that we have in our life right now, brother. And if we can just let go of the bills for a little bit, like, because it's all going to work out. And if we can,
Has it ever not?
has it ever not? That's right. Focus
Like,
our attention on what's happening now with the
time.
girls, bro.
This is the moment that it's not going to work out. How old are you?
36.
Yeah. And has it ever not worked out?
It's always worked out.
There you go. So what makes it any different? The mind will tell you otherwise.
100%.
Yeah. Fuck. this is exactly what comes up for me is the voice messages like, where the fuck have we been to be able to openly express this stuff? It's clear it was supposed to be. We're supposed to go through our own, maybe just to sit a bit still and a bit more quiet for a little bit. Like we've done pods here and there and dribs and drabs. It is hard. This makes me realize fucking why me and Zab did 150 episodes weekly, because of the feeling you get, but
Mm.
like how nice it is to openly express energy. Because once again, my human design is like, it's hard for me to just cultivate energy. I need to like be in the energy with someone to make sense why I sometimes struggle doing one-on-one, sorry, solo pods.
Mm.
I mean, I need that burst of energy to do it, and it doesn't happen often. Where it's like this type of stuff, I could fucking sit on the call with you for the next 10 hours and talk about all this stuff. You know what I mean? So we keep this going. It's for ourselves, but other people are going to sit and go, "Wow, these guys are fucking on the money." I have a feeling that these guys know we have a good way of articulating to words what's going on in our bodies, and I think that's the language that we try to project to help people find that language within themselves, because it's all
Mm.
vocabulary. Like, you know what I mean? When you start to talk about energy and people are energy, and like this feeling comes up in my body, people don't know how they feel at the moment.
Mm.
Like, it's like, how do you feel? It's like, yeah, good. It's like, oh yeah, but what feeling is it? It's like, oh, I'm just so used to saying good. I actually don't know. Um, okay, cool. Well, let's dive into that. Let's actually start feeling. So then when you're out and about and things are happening, blah, 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 you can sort of pivot your feelings, and you can understand, once you start to understand your operating system and the limiting beliefs growing up, the way your parents were taught you, the whatever comes up, you can start to let go of like those limiting beliefs of when things happen. You can actually feel it and see it rather than just be numb to it. So many people are walking around numb, like they don't actually, and that's why like the message is like service is to help people. When I say help, I mean they've got all the answers. It's just giving them a space to find the answers. I don't know, help. I use the word help, but I don't think people, I'm not here like that. People don't necessarily need help. People need presence and energy to see it for themselves, you know? And that's what we do for each other. And that's why we keep unlocking things within each other. So good chat.
How good, bro. How good. I love this.
Get Eben on one.
Yeah,
All right.
man. I had that thought as well, bro, actually. Interesting you said that.
Mm,
I'll invite him.
done. I reckon we just keep doing these weekly for now, because fuck,
Oh,
bro, there's so much inside of me that I feel like it's been stored for so long.
yeah.
Thanks for the invite. Keep giving me
Hey,
invitation.
bro. Thank you for being you, Maddie. Thank you so much, bro. Like I say, like there's not many people in this world that I can express everything that I'm going through. You know, there's Janina, but there's sometimes need to express stuff about Janina, and who I'm going to express that to? It's going to be you, bro. So thank you, bro, for being all that you are, just a vessel of love and truth, and an open space for me to express my truth. So thank you, brother.
Thank you. The love goes both ways, bro. It's finding people in your life that are consistently showing up as them is powerful. Like it's like when you go to your favorite restaurant, the meal's always good. Prior to you getting to the restaurant, you know the meal's good, so you're already energetically, you're already in that state. That's what happens with the connections of you and me and other people in our life that show up consistently. You know you're not going to get, you're always going to get some sort of consistency across the board, knowing that they just show up as them, I show up as me, and we just exchange energy and we're there for each other, and that's all we need. You know, you don't expect anything, I don't expect anything. I never have thoughts about your thoughts at all. Fuck me dead. I don't remember the last time. I don't think ever I've had a thought about your thoughts. Maybe when you were coaching me and you wanted me to,
Do your homework.
and you kept messaging me about it and I wanted you to fuck off. That's probably the only thought I've had about your thoughts of like,
Yep.
bro, this guy. And that, do you know what I mean? But like,
Yep.
what a beautiful feeling. We always have thoughts about other people's thoughts, like all the time. What do they think of me? Do they think like this? Should I say it like this? Why do I feel like that? With you, it's just like an open book. I'm just like, oh, hey, bro, how you doing? You know, so thank you, brother. I love you, and I'm fucking excited for this pod to go out and to share it.
Same, bro. Thank you so much, bro. I think we'll end it at that, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for
Have
listening.
yourself.
I'm just in a thought about how many times I swore as well, so I'm gonna be mindful of that.
Oh, I probably swore a lot as well. It's all
Yeah,
good.
it's the
It's all
only thing.
love.
It's all love. Yeah. All right.
All
Over and
right.
out. Till next time.
Yeah.